Hi, I'm Dan Schmitt. I do a weekly motorcycle racing show called Team Chicago Challenge. My website is teamchicago.tv. Teamchicago.tv. We're at the International Motorcycle Show, Rosemont, Donald Stevens Center. We look at some of the new bikes. We look at some of the vintage bikes. Talk to my good friend Larry with Motoblot. I'll be at Motoblot in June. Don't forget, big event in Chicago. But let's see what the new bikes for 2019. I'm going to talk to some of the people. And don't forget my website, teamchicago.tv.
We're going to kick off today's show by looking at the Yamaha Niken. I hope that's the proper pronunciation. It's N-I-K-E-N. Nike is N-I-K-E. That's what they call the gym shoes. So this is a Niken GT with two front wheels. It's a concept motorcycle, but they made it. Roads for life. That's what Yamaha is saying. Rev your heart. Motorcycles for life. Now this concept comes with a 3-cylinder engine, an 847, with 2 wheels, independent suspension, a good amount of hardware to get both of these wheels to turn so the bike does lean. Now Yamaha says they built this bike to appeal to experience-orientated people, functional-orientated people, and innovative people. I hope they get a chance to ride that bike at Rich's Yamaha when they have their Yamaha Ticket to Ride in the beginning of June. This motorcycle is a Arlen Ness inspired 113 cubic inch touring engine. It's a 4-valve per cylinder, very long push rods, but it is a push rod engine, meaning the cams are down in the engine cases. And the push rods run off the cams to open and close the valves. A huge clutch, a huge generator, big pistons, modern design, 4 valves per cylinder. Definitely an engine making great horsepower for this touring motorcycle. In the Yamaha racing area, I spot the R1, which is a 1000cc 4-cylinder, the R6, which I believe is the greatest Yamaha motorcycle ever built, and the R3, which is a twin 321cc engine, as we get to see one of the Yamahas that won a national title. Now it was J.D. Beach, who also dirt tracks, and next year in 2019 he will be dirt tracking and road racing. There aren't many racers that compete in both the dirt track and the road racing. The road racing now is called Moto America. The flat track is American Flat Track. Now we're looking at the motocross champion bike, a 250 4-stroke engine with a huge exhaust pipe. That exhaust pipe comes out of the back of the engine, wraps around the cylinder. The fuel injection is in front of the cylinder and above the cylinder. The 250 AMA motocross champ is Aaron Flessinger. He won the 250 championship aboard this Yamaha 4-stroke 250. Next year, he may be moving up to the open class. We'll have to wait and see. And as you look at this array of Yamaha off-road bikes, I think Yamaha should give me a few of these bikes so I can begin to do my show that I want to call Trail Ride America. I have plenty of riders that want to ride across the country with me. In the Honda booth, we spot the Gullwing. The Gullwing is the flagship of Honda. 6-cylinder touring bike, But front and center in the Honda display is the world's quickest Pro Street drag bike. 998cc 4-cylinder. This bike, turbocharged, puts out 550 horsepower. The bike weighs 575 pounds, and you can see it is running a street tire on the back. So this bike does 660s, 664s, very fast times, very impressive from a motorcycle that's based on a street bike and turning very fast times, very quick. A wonderful display for Honda, and I know it takes a lot to turn those kind of times. And now we're looking at the African Twin, which is an off-road, on-road touring bike. And I believe this year, I'd like to test ride an African Twin. I'm gonna have to write a letter to Honda. In Suzuki's booth, I spot this Titanic looking bike, and in the background, there it is. It is the 1982 Suzuki Katana, using Titanic, which means German-inspired design. This bike was very fast back in '92. In fact, in Wentzville, Missouri, when I road raced there, the only bike that was faster than the 4 and 6 Yamaha Seika was the Suzuki Katana. And now they're looking at a retro bike. I'll tell you, this is a good rendition of the old Suzuki Katana. Nice colors, nice design, 1000cc street bike. But as long as we're talking about retro bikes, we're gonna head over to the other side of this hall at Donald Stevens Center in Rosemont, and we're gonna look at some of the vintage bikes. And we're looking at Jake Zender Triumph race bike, dirt track bike. This bike is either the 500cc or the 650cc race bike that Jake puts together with his dad and races, flat track races, and he is a very fast racer. His dad is Ed Zender that owns Maury's Place. This 1913 Indian competed in the Cannonball motorcycle run this year, finished the event from Portland, Maine to Portland, Oregon. The 1913 Indian is a twin cylinder. It has a clutch, and I believe it has a 2-speed transmission. And now we're going to talk to the promoter of Motoblot, Larry Fletcher.
I'm Larry Fletcher with Motoblot Chicago. We're an urban motorcycle and hot rod street rally. This year it's on June 20th to 23rd in downtown Chicago. You can go to motoblot.com. That's motoblot.com, Motoblot. And this is going to be our 6th year. We kind of evolved into Motoblot from Mods vs. Rockers Chicago, which started in 2005. And with the advent of, or the change from kind of like cafe racer, scooter culture to kind of anything goes with bobbers, choppers, and hot rods, we rebranded in 2013 to Motoblot. So we're at the International Motorcycle Show here in Rosemont for the IMS, and we're just setting up. We're going to be handing out flyers, posters, selling t-shirts, and got some swag to get you through the winter, thermals and flannels, and all the OEMs are here, or most of them. We're at the vintage display, so you'll see some really cool bikes. If you get out here, you don't make it this year, come next February. Check out motorcycleshows.com. And part of Motoblot is the Miss Motoblot Pinup Contest, and you can basically, if you're in pinup culture and you'd like to be a part of the Pinup Contest, you can go to motoblot.com and you can get the information to register on our website. But it's a big part of the event. We have a lot of beautiful women that participate, and they're into the moto culture, and it brings a lot of color, flavor, and glamour to the event, because a lot of these events can be pretty male-oriented, but that brings a lot of women to the event, which helps with everybody's demeanor. They're on their best behavior because the women are there. We also have 2 stages, 30 bands, so we have music all weekend, and I recommend it highly. Check us out at motoblot.com.
Thank you, Larry. I will be at Motoblot in June, and I will produce a couple TV shows from Motoblot as we look at this Moto Guzzi sidecar racer, a road race sidecar bike. It's too bad there are not too many sidecar events in the good old USA. And now we're looking at a Triumph 3-cylinder road racer. This bike competes with Arma, and they'll be up at Road America, I believe, in June this coming year. And as we see this supercharged Norton, a great looking Norton Commando. I had the chance to talk to the president of the Chicago Norton Owners Club, John Ravella.
Hello, John Ravella here, president of the Chicago Norton Owners Club. We're at the IMS, the International Motorcycle Show at the Donald E. Stevens Convention Center in Rosemont. It's an annual thing. It's the new motorcycle show. We're part of a vintage display. A number of us clubs and things for many years have put up a big vintage display. I generally have 10 to 15 various classic, if you will, or antique British motorcycles on display here. It's a great thing. There's a lot of biker build-off going on, a lot of different things. It's a fun thing. At any rate, coming up, every August we put on a big antique motorcycle show at MCC in Villa Park. It's a Ducati dealership there on St. Charles Road, just west of Route 83. It's the 3rd weekend in August. We generally attract 400 or 500 spectators. We generally have somewhere between 70 and 100 various vintage motorcycles from all over the world, from all time periods for the most part. It's open. The show is open to any machine that is 25 years old or older. They're, again, from all over the world. You'll see something of every color, every size, every design, and just about every manufacturer that's been of significance. So we look forward to seeing you out there. That show runs from 9 in the morning till about 3 in the afternoon, in most cases, if weather doesn't interfere. The admittance is free for spectating. Motorcycles, there is a registration fee. You can always go on the Chicago Norton Owners website. Check this out, cnoc.org. There's information on there. You can get a hold of one of the officers or anything else you want more information. Thank you.
Thank you, John, and I'll be at their show, the Norton Show, in August at MCC in Villa Park on St. Charles Road. As we talk about retro, Triumph Motorcycles has been producing Bonnevilles that look just like they did back in the 1970s. Here's the Truxton 1200 Cafe Racer, a beautiful bike with beautiful lines. The Speed Triple, I rode one of these when they came out in '95. I rode one a few years ago, a great motorcycle. Scrambler 1200. Now this new one for 2019, it looks like it's got a longer swing arm, more travel, a 21-inch front wheel. God, I guess I'm gonna have to write a letter to Triumph and see if they can provide me with one of these new scramblers to do some off-road, on-road testing and touring. And now we're in the Kawasaki display. KZ900 came out, I believe, in '72, and they have a retro KZ1000. And in the background, in green, it's an Eddie Lawson replica when he ran Kawasaki Superbikes. As we swing the camera over, we spot Croft Long, the product manager for Kawasaki.
Now this is an awesome motorcycle because it's the truest of any motorcycle to its 1960s roots. If you remember, back in the 60s, Kawasaki built a W1. It was actually under license from BSA, so it favored the look of the BSA. The new W1 or W800 is inspired The new W800 is inspired by that W1, but it's an all-new design, all-new proprietary engine, all-new chassis, new running gear, but it's still packaged in that 60s look, and it gives you that great feel of the 1960s motorcycles.
Thank you, Mr. Long. Built beyond belief. So besides having a couple retro bikes in the Kawasaki lineup, they had this high performance H2, supercharged and producing close to 200 horsepower. So they got retro bikes and modern bikes. And when I stopped by the Royal Enfield display, I spotted this V-twin motorcycle. It caught my attention because Royal Enfield has been building the 500 single and a 450 off-road single 4-stroke. These bikes are built in India, and they're working side by side with engineers in England.
Somebody get to the steering wheel.
So I have to find out more about this V-twin Royal Enfield as they load it up on this display. This bike caught my attention even though I came over to look at the 650 twin. But I had the opportunity to have a conversation with Filippo Corticelli, who is from the design group.
Filippo Corticelli, lead designer for Royal Enfield in the UK Technical Centre. This is a concept twin, so it's not meant for production, but it's a study that wants to showcase the know-how that our UK Technical Centre has acquired and give a glimpse of what the future direction of our products might be.
So how big of a staff do you guys have in England?
We're about 120 staff. We're very soon going to go up to 150, and we'll have to expand our technical center accordingly.
And what is connection between India and UK? How does it all work?
We try to. We're working as if we were only one location.
Mm-hmm.
So projects get developed across both sites. Generally, the final part, like pre-production, always happens in India because that's where we manufacture. But we are very well equipped in the UK as well, and we've got the same test rigs and engine benches, and we are working across both sides in a very fluid manner. What Royal Enfield has, we are very lucky. We want to be as successful as we can in what is called the middle segment. So it's between 350 and 650 cc. This is going to be an 800 plus. So it's actually very interesting for us to gauge the reaction of the public and whether they think they've got the confidence that a name like Royal Enfield can carry a product which is more premium than what we're offering at the moment. So that's what the concept is for.
Thank you, Mr. Corticelli. And now we're looking at a Confederate motorcycle, another V-twin. They are offering a line of motorcycles. I don't know if they have a proprietary engine or if this engine is a Harley-Davidson derivative S&S engine type. They have different designs using conventional forks and leading link type forks. Interesting display, but there was no one around to talk to. Now I spot a Harley-Davidson CYO Road Glide. It's got the 117 cubic inch Milwaukee 8 engine, meaning it's got 4 valves per cylinder, another push rod engine, great looking touring Harley-Davidson. This is Harley-Davidson's 750 sport bike, and this is the same engine that they are using in their flat track racer. Harley-Davidson is expanding their line to attract new riders, and everybody recognizes the Harley-Davidson Shield. A great looking 1200 Sportster Cafe Racer, Harley-Davidson, American made, built in Milwaukee. But their rival, Indian, has got a sport bike that's based more on their race bike. Now this was a $50,000 dirt track racer that has won a couple of championships now. So they have come out with a line of motorcycles based off of that 750. They have a touring sport bike, a tracker sport bike. Very interesting what Indian Motorcycle is doing. Tour, sport, tracker, using the FTR 1200 engine, but basing their motorcycles off of their FTR 750 Scout race bike. I guess it's time for me to send a letter to Indian and see if they have a bike that I can road test during this upcoming motorcycle riding season. American made, Indian motorcycle, part of the Polaris group. Born on the dirt, built for the street. I would also like to try the 750 race bike on a cushioned track sometime. BMW's, their 09 series, horizontal twins, the bread and butter of BMW for many, many years, going on probably 80 or 90 years, building horizontal twins, great looking motorcycles. BMW, make life a ride. Their 1000 inline 4-cylinder sport bike. I think they ought to let me road test one of these bikes sometime in the near future. Well, we had a great time at Rosemont at Donald Stevens Center for the International Motorcycle Show. I'm gonna have to write to Honda and see if they can provide me with an African twin to do some touring, off-road traveling, and do a TV show and put a road test together on this famous Honda. The new Triumph Scrambler with the longer travel suspension in the rear, 21-inch front wheel. Yeah, I think I should write Triumph the letter also and see if they'll let me road test their new 2019 Scrambler. Yamaha R6. What can I say about this motorcycle? I have probably raced the R6 over 20,000 miles. It is maybe the best motorcycle made, a great motorcycle and a great race bike. And I think Yamaha should think about providing me with some off-road motorcycles so I can begin to work on my new series that I'm going to call Trail Ride America. For more information on the International Motorcycle Show, their website is motorcycleshows.com. To get a hold of me, it's teamdan45@gmail.com. On YouTube, you can always search with Dan Schmitt Motorcycle Racing for great motorcycle racing action. And I hope Indian will allow me to race their Indian Scout on a nice cushioned track.